So the twill is a great weave to experiment with because there are so many variations. There's plain twill, there's herringbone, there's the diamond twill, there are one-color twills, two-color twills, three-color twills, there are warp-face twills, weft-face twills. So the diamond twill was originally a saddle blanket pattern because the finished rug is very thick. The long float yarns on a twill weave make it much thicker than the plain weaves. And while not difficult to do, they do require a great deal of concentration. So for the diamond twill, 4 sheds are required and 3 weft colors. A complete round is 12 rows. So you have 1 stick shed, you have 3 pull sheds, which will be 1, 2, 3. And the colors you usually use for a diamond twill are the naturals, the tans, the grays, the blacks, the browns, and sometimes red is thrown in. And each side of the fabric may have a little bit of different color emphasis depending on the sequence of your shed's arrangements. So there are many, many different variations on this that can be woven with the heddle arrangement. When you're planning your warps, plan it in multiples of 20 plus 1. So if you want, like this would be 4 groups of 20 maybe, so you would have 80 plus 1, so you'd have 81 warps. Now my loom was already warped up, so I'm going to have a little bit of extra. I have 10 extra here, so you just have to ignore that. But plan it in multiples of 20 plus 1. If you look at the diagram in my book on page 95, and I'll try to include that at the end of this video, that's a heddle arrangement for 20 threads. And I might add that you can use any drafting pattern for twill, but that's just a handy one I'll try to add. So an X in the diagram means that the heddle is around that thread, and when you pull your shed forward, all the threads shown by that X will be lifted. Now when you're putting on your string heddles, you don't have to, if you have a group of 2 or 3, you don't have to go around each of those individually. You can work those up, or put your string heddles on around that group of 2 or 3. Oops, losing all my samples. So you're going to prepare your heddles beginning with the stick shed number 4. So if you want to follow along, what you're going to do is you're going to raise 1, let me start the right side here. Raise 2, down 2, up 2, down 2, up 2, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 2, down 2, up 1. So that's your group of 20. You're going to repeat that across for however many groups you have, and then put a temporary stick in. You're going to put 4 temporary shed sticks in, and then you're going to add your string heddles to 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and put number 4 in, and then when you get to 3, it's going to be up 1, down 2, up 2, down 2, up 3, down 2, up 2, and down 2. So do that all the way across and then put a temporary stick in. When you come to shed 2, it is going to be the opposite of shed 4, and shed 1 is going to be the opposite of shed 3. So prepare your sheds very carefully because you can't fix this later. You have to have them right to begin with. So put your temporary shed sticks in, and then you're going to put string heddles on sheds 1, 2, and 3, and leave the stick shed, too many sticks here, for group 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, prepare my 1, 2, 3 sheds, and then put string heddles on those, and then I'll get back with you. So I've started on my string heddles. I put the string heddles on shed 1, and I still have my temporary sticks in 2, 3, and 4. So you can double check when you do your string heddles and make sure they're exact, because you can't correct your sheds later on. If you've forgotten how to do string heddles, I have 2 videos on that, so you can go back and review. but I'm going to do string heddles on 2 and 3, and then I'll get back with you. I have all the string heddles on, and now I'm ready to begin my diamond twill. If you don't have a plain band already on your weaving, I suggest you put one on. I like to have a plain band at the beginning and at the end. You can do a plain band by using sheds 2 and 4. So once you start weaving, you're going to pick your sequence, and it doesn't matter whether you do 1, 2, 3, 4 or start with 4, but I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 just so I can keep it in sequence here. So kind of pull them up, the ones you aren't using. So I'm ready to begin. And my color sequence is going to be light, medium, and dark. You can do any sequence you want, but once you pick it, you should stay with that one. So I'm just going to start with 1, and all the yarns are woven all the way across. There is no interior design. Oops, I got a knot in this one. I'll take that one out. And weave the tail back into the same shed. You cover up your little tail. And beat each row down as you go. So that was the first one. Now I'm going to do the second one. And I hope you checked your sheds before you did your string heddles, because you can't correct this after you get them on. So I'm going to do my second color, which is the medium gray. Move the tail back into the same shed. And then for the third shed, I'm going to do the black. And check when you pull your string heddles up that you get the right warps coming forward. And leave that little tail back in the same shed. Okay, that's 3 rows. Now the fourth shed is going to be my light gray again. And you want to try to pick them up from the inside, that way you can keep the edges neat. Okay, that's 4 rows. Now I'm going to just keep on the same shed sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4, now I'm going to start back with 1, and I'm going to keep on the same sequence of my colors. So if you would continue this same sequence all the way up, you'd have diagonals all going in the same direction. So I'm going to continue a few rows, and then I'll get back with you in a minute. I have now completed 12 rows, one sequence, and my yarns are hanging on the same side as I began. If you continue the same sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to have just a diagonal pattern. If after a certain number you reverse the sheds, then they're going to run in the opposite direction, resulting in the herringbone pattern. So the diamond pattern is formed when you reverse the pattern and you continue for the entire length of your weaving. The shape of the diamond depends upon the frequency with which the sheds are reversed. So if you reverse them after 12 rows, you're going to have a smaller diamond than if you reverse them after 24 rows. And when you reverse the shed sequence, be sure to reverse the color sequence. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to do black, medium, and light instead of light, medium, and dark. So I'm going to change my direction and weave a few rows so that you can see what a diamond begins to look like. So I've completed my 4, 3, 2, 1 sequence, and my yarns are again hanging on the same side as I began. So I'll reverse and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, the size of the diamond depends on how frequently you reverse your sequence. If you want to do verticals, they're formed by sheds 2, 3, and 4 after ending the diamond in shed 4. Or if you ended the diamond in shed 1, repeat sheds 3, 2, 1. And the color sequence remains the same. So I'm going to continue. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 for 12 rows and see how it looks with another diamond on there, and then I'll get back with you again. I've completed another sequence, and I think by now you can tell how the diamonds are beginning to be formed. So this is a weave that you really need to just experiment with. I'm using bulky yarns with a wide set, so I'm going to have bigger diamonds than if you used a fine yarn and a finer set. So experiment with the twill weave and enjoy the process and have fun. Thank you for watching.